Hello, friends and colleagues, and welcome to episode 104 of Dermasphere, the podcast by dermatologists, for dermatologists, and for the dermatologically curious. I am one of your hosts. My name is Luke Johnson. I'm a pediatric dermatologist and general dermatologist with the University of Utah. And joining me, of course, is...
This is Michelle Tarbox. I'm an associate professor of dermatology and dermatopathology at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center in beautiful sunny Lubbock, Texas.
Our mission on Dermasphere is to bring you updates from the latest dermatologic literature so that you have more time in your day to take care of patients, etc., instead of having to spend that time flipping through journal articles. And of course, the quasi-unofficial third member of Team Dermasphere is the Pimping Bell. The Pimping Bell exists to highlight especially noteworthy or questionable content, so when the Pimping Bell rings, take a listen. And by the way, pimping is a term used in medicine to describe how senior doctors might ask junior doctors a question. That's known as pimping them for historical reasons of which I am unaware. One, which is also out of pediatric dermatology and is titled The Bumpy Adolescent Nose, Acne-Associated Angiofibroma-like Nasal Papules. So another
I hate
pediatric
these.
nose thing.
Patients hate these too. Yes.
Well, apparently Jorge Roman and Vikash Oza must hate them as well, because they're listed as two of the main authors out of New York. And this was a retrospective review of 20 adolescent patients who had the same phenotype of bumpy noses, and they also had acne. These bumps could be fairly few and small. They could look like more traditional angiofibromas, like fibrous papules, we call them sometimes. Or it could be quite intense and look more like rhinophyma. In general, they were dome-shaped, skin-colored, or erythematous papules, and about a quarter of the time they were found on the chin as well. Biopsy from 5 patients kind of looked like angiofibromas, so that's why they call them angiofibroma-like papules. They do cite a previously described case series, really similar presentation, bumpy noses, kids with acne, that referred to this as a type of acne scarring rather than something like an angiofibroma, and they had histologic findings in that study that looked more like scars than angiofibromas. In this study, they looked like angiofibromas. So whether or not it's the same thing or not, kind of tough to say. Importantly, almost all of these patients were skin of color patients. So they had 20 patients total, 17 of them were Hispanic, 2 were black, 1 was Asian. They were almost all boys, 17 of them were male. So the authors feel that this angiofibroma-like papules presentation is a sequela of acne, and they say that it may disproportionately affect skin of color. So these are reasons that it's important for us to know about, especially if we're trying to avoid it getting worse or prevent presenting in the first place. We can treat these people with good acne treatments, and then hopefully this won't happen. As a reminder, people have characterized different types of acne scarring. So whether or not you believe this angiofibroma-like presentation is acne scarring or not, you can also think of acne scars as ice pick, rolling, and boxcar. A couple other tidbits from this article. If you're wondering about multiple facial angiofibromas and you're like, isn't that in some kind of genetic disorder? Yes, you might remember that I mentioned tuberous sclerosis just a second ago. So that's got the wrong name of adenoma sebaceum sometimes.
It's one of the double misnomers of derm.
Another one is pyogenic granuloma.
Neither pyogenic nor granulomatous.
Also, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome, MEN, type 1, can have multiple facial angiofibromas, as can Birt-Hogg-Dubé syndrome. And we also talked about this form first thing. And they also speculate that it is possible that the mTOR gene could be responsible here, because it's responsible for creating angiofibromas in tuberous sclerosis. They also say that aberrant mTOR signaling may be important in the development of acne. I don't normally think about mTOR when I think of the reasons acne shows up, but hey, they say that it has been shown that mTOR gene expression is increased in the lesional skin of acne, and that increased mTOR signaling promotes inflammation by increasing sebocyte survival, exaggerated release of sebum-free fatty acids, and C. acnes overgrowth.
Hmm.
So, maybe mTOR is somehow involved. So, that's basically the story. If anyone's asking you about it, you can tell them this may be kind of a form of acne scarring, and it can also be a reason to treat more aggressively, especially your darker skinned patients.